India in the 1980s and 90s. The good guys were clean-shaven. Shirts were tucked in. Chivalry was fashionable. And then there was the rake. Unshaven, scraggly, torn denims. The kind of guy women liked but never took home to meet the parents. The guy who almost always rode a Yezdi motorcycle. Now these bikes were the epitome of cool at a time when it wasn't cool to be cool. They were fast, loud, rough around the edges, but reliable to a fault. Built for enthusiastic riding, yet accessibly priced. For an entire generation of middle-class Indians, the Yezdis opened up a new world of riding pleasure. Two brothers, Rustam and Farokh Irani, imported Jawa motorcycles to India. The Czech brand had become one of the most popular motorcycle marques in the 1930s when it was exported to over 100 countries. Now the Jawa had built a formidable reputation as a sporting machine. Endurance races, rallies, flat tracking events, motorsport, you name it. In India too, the most prolific riders rode Jawas. Tirumal Roy, Faribors Irani, C.K. Chinnappa, Sominder Singh, all of them won a slew of races riding Jawas. In the 1960s, the Irani brothers found a benefactor in the Maharaja of Mysore, a keen rider himself. In 1961, they took a license from Jawa and a manufacturing unit was built in Mysore. The factory was producing 130 bikes a day at its peak. In 1973, the brothers launched Yezdi. Models like the Road King, the Oil King, the CL2 followed. In 1996, the last Yezdi rolled off the production line in Mysore. In 2017, Mahindra's classic legends decided to resurrect the brand.
We want to be a company that tells a story. Stories are not only about the past. This is the never-ending story.
The first run of the new Indian Jawas certainly looked the part. What were the odds that these modern Jawas could measure up to the OG? Practically zero, right? But when Yezdi called and said, "Come to Mysore to ride the new Yezdi Roadster," I agreed. Mysore has die-hard Yezdi loyalists. These guys weren't messing around. Priyadarshan with his Jawa 350, quite a rare motorcycle. Not much of a looker, but exciting to ride. What model is this?
It's a 94.
94? I see. So they were making motorcycles till what, till 96?
No, they still make it in Ukraine, I think.
In Ukraine? Oh no, what I meant is in Mysore.
Oh yeah, Mysore, it's production ceased in 95 or 96. I
That's right, that's what I thought.
After the two-stroke
Yeah.
emission
Well,
norms came in.
you got to admit this one looks definitely nicer. There's the 334cc Yezdi Roadster launching now. 29 bhp, which is a lot of power for something like this. Sounds pretty good. Baffles are off. That's cheating, but it still works. Have a good ride, sir. That's what I'm going to be riding today. This is the Yezdi Roadster. Looks pretty. Let's see if this motorcycle deserves this name on the tank. It's a tall order to live up to. Yezdi in Mysore. The Yezdi company shut in 1996 and now we are back in Mysore. The plan was to take the Roadster in Mysore and ride to Madikeri in Coorg, about 120 kilometers. The road cuts through paddy fields, coconut groves and then begins to climb into the Western Ghats. Let's talk about this bike. The looks are hard to miss and this is where the Roadster starts winning you over. Round LED headlamp, sculpted teardrop tank, curved fenders, twin barrel exhaust and a chopped rear with a wider tyre that gives it that half bobber, half cruiser stance. It's neo-retro, not a museum piece. This is a well-proportioned motorcycle. The heart is Yezdi's new Alpha 2 engine, 334 cc's, liquid-cooled, single-cylinder, 29 horses, 30 Newton meters of torque, a 6-speed gearbox with a slip and assist clutch. Now this engine is a big step up from the last iterant of the Roadster. It's smoother, it has cleaner power delivery and a stronger mid-range where it matters, between 4 and 6,000 RPM. That means that overtakes on the highway don't require a downshift every time. The gearbox is noticeably better, third and fourth have been reworked, and there's a proper exhaust note now, thumpy, with pops and bangs on the overrun. This is a motorcycle that makes you want to ride. The handling is a genuine surprise. 184 kilos of motorcycle that flicks into corners like it weighs a lot less. The wider handlebar helps, so does the stiffer chassis. This bike no longer feels nervous when you push it, in fact it feels quite planted. It's not perfect by any means and it is worth being honest about that. The LCD console to start with, all the information you need but barely visible in direct sunlight. At noon, on a highway, that's a real flaw. The two riding modes. Now the city mode caps you at 100 km per hour. The highway mode lets the engine breathe. Problem is, every time you switch the bike off, the bike resets to the city mode. Now this isn't a deal breaker because you get used to it. And finally, vibrations. They still do creep in at the top end of rev range. Again, this bike isn't meant to be redlined, but these are things that Yezdi still has to iron out.
Quite a looker, isn't she? Nothing quite like a good-looking motorcycle. We've been riding the Yezdi Roadster since yesterday. Got it from Mysore to Madikeri, about 110 kilometers. But I've had much more fun with her in Madikeri. It's a motorcycle much more given to sort of exploring smaller places than doing sort of long-distance hauls. So these are just my riding impressions. I'm not going to say that this is not an unprejudiced review by any means. I used to own a 250 CL2 Yezdi when I was in school. And I'm just delighted to see this brand alive and kicking. This is a 334cc engine. I think it's a perfectly usable motorcycle. Yeah, I think it's pretty perfectly adequate in this city for sure. I don't know if this is a motorcycle you would buy to go from one end of the country to another, but I don't think it's meant for that. I don't remember who it was. One of these guys who was riding along with me. I think he was about 5'7", 5'8", and he was just. It looked like he just fit onto it. And I suspect people of sort of who are not 6 feet will sort of fit really well on this motorcycle. So anyway, I'm going to get back to exploring Madikeri. Gorgeous, gorgeous Kodagu, coffee country, fantastic food, nice people, a nice motorcycle to explore it. What can I say? It's a tough job. All right, will you stay? Will you stay? Yes, she will. Whew. I'm almost sorry that road came to an end. Oh. So as much as I love my Triumph T120, could I have done this on my Triumph? Not a chance. I like this motorcycle. What do I like about it? Well, I think first and foremost, besides the fact that it looks great, is the fact that it's got great brakes. Now, speed and acceleration is all very well, but in our country, the odds are stacked against you if you're on a motorcycle, and what you need are good brakes, and this thing they've really not skimped on the brakes. Stops on a dime. It's quite comfortable. We rode it from Mysore to Coorg, and now we're taking it back, so, my butt isn't hurting yet, so the seat's really comfortable. The engine is much smoother. It's been tuned much better than the previous one, and it is tuned quite well. There are even 2 riding modes, which is incomprehensible at this price point. This motorcycle is not meant for any speed above 100 kilometers per hour. It's just the vibes get to you, etc. You ride at 80-90 kilometers per hour, tool around a bit, and it's just fine. I mean, I really enjoyed my ride in Madikari today because I was doing 70-80 kilometers per hour, easing off the throttle and gunning it again. It was great. It was great fun. But anyway, we're in Coorg. This is a coffee plantation. I'm not going to go back to Delhi without buying some coffee.
Coorg, or Kodagu as locals call it, the coffee country of South India. Rolling hills, mist and the smell of roasting beans hanging in the air. We're heading to an estate owned by a friend of the brand, someone who's been involved with bringing the Yezdi name back from the crypt.
Number 1 for the coffee. Among all the coffee growing areas, the Coorg is supposed to be number 1.
Why is Coorg considered the coffee capital of the country?
See what happened, Coorg is full of Robustas.
Robusta
there are
coffee.
Two types of coffee. One is Robustas, other one is Arabicas. So Karnataka, mostly it is around 70% of the coffee is grown in Karnataka.
I see.
In that, Coorg is the major area where Robusta is grown. It is not much of a high altitude. It is approximately 2,800 to 3,400 is the above sea level. Very well balanced climate we have in Coorg.
Yes, you
so
do.
To say. Yeah, yeah.
You're very lucky you have that.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, talk to somebody who's coming from Delhi. It's, Bangalore is great, Bengaluru is great, but Mysore is better than Bengaluru, and Coorg seems to be better than even Mysore.
Much better, yeah.
Right? Absolutely gorgeous riding country, huh? This.
I know. And
fantastic, yeah. What a ride.
And this is the birthplace of Yezdi. So for me, this is homecoming.
you couldn't wait for 1 minute, huh? To bring your Brandon. But anyway, Mr. Anupam Tareja, who's the co-founder and managing director of Classic Legends, the mark that brings out custodian of Yezdi and Jawa and BSA, is showing me around his neck of the woods. And what do you think about this GST business? I've been meaning to ask you for the last 2 days.
In September 1995, the 2-stroke, 4-stroke conversation happened, the policy
Right.
Exactly the same month, 30 years later, September 2025, another policy conversation happened.
Right.
That made these brands fade away.
Right.
This will make these brands shine. Good old times. Right?
Yeah,
Our mind has created this, concocted this web that everything was beautiful at that time. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, you were younger, so that was better.
Life was better, right? Now, when they see it, it's like remake of Sholay or a classic movie. They'll say, "No, or wo wali better."
Not as good as the first one.
But having said that,
Right.
magic can be done if you stay true to what was Yezdi as a character.
Right. And what was it? How would you sum it up?
A lovable rascal.
Quotable quote from Anupam Tareja. On that bombshell, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's go.
You're going to keep talking about the bike and you're going to keep talking about the brand, and I know you will. And while I agree with most of what you're saying, I think
your
our viewers would
disagreement.
have got the gist of it.
I hope so.
It's a
I
bit
actually, I should be interviewing you because you rode like a maniac with me yesterday. So I should be interviewing you.
Hardly. I've stopped riding like a maniac, sir. I ride in the sweet spot. I think that's one of the things that happens to you.
So let's go, buddy.
Chalo, sir.